Hello and welcome to the Duluth News Tribune's Bulldog Insider podcast. I'm your host, Matt Wellens, the Bulldogs hockey beat reporter at the News Tribune.
And I'm Zach Schneider, the television voice of the Bulldogs on My 9 Sports.
Joining us on the podcast this week is the second Olympic hopeful from Team Canada, who's living the double life, Olympic hopeful / student athlete. She's a sophomore center for the Bulldogs women's hockey team. Welcome back to the podcast, Caitlin Kraemer.
Hello.
Thanks for coming back, Caitlin.
Yes, happy to be back.
We're recording this hopefully during like a quiet, have you had a quiet week all season? We're recording this ahead of time over American Thanksgiving. No Bulldogs games, no Hockey Canada commitments this week for you?
No, we were laughing because I think this is the first bye weekend that we're home for, because I think all the times we've been leaving for camps, it's been the week going into a bye weekend. So this is Ev's a nice first weekend off with no hockey in a long time. So
is this like a good thing for, I mean, normally you'd be like, hey, Hockey Canada, could we schedule something now so we're not messing anything with the Bulldogs? But I'm guessing you guys could use a week off. Yeah,
I think we're still fired up from losing this past weekend, but I think it's kind of needed, this weekend of rest, to go at Bemidji and into the second half.
Yeah, you guys have one more series to play in the second half at Bemidji State. Is this a chance to catch up on schoolwork? What are you guys up to during the Thanksgiving week?
Yeah, I think for me, it's definitely I'm behind on my stats in class a lot. But yeah, I think it's also just time to enjoy time with our team. We have like a lot during the bye weekends. You go over to a teammate's house or just hang out all together, and we haven't really had that opportunity outside the rink to catch up with the freshmen and all that. So I think I'm looking forward mostly to just having Thanksgiving dinner with the team and just creating more of those connections.
How would you describe this first semester of college? You're only a sophomore year, so not a ton to compare it to your freshman year, but how would you describe it? I believe you said earlier you used the word shenanigans.
Yeah, I would say it's been lots of shenanigans, and just kind of having to continue to remind myself to be where my feet are, because you're in a new place almost every week. And then also having to do school and all that. So just leaning on teammates, coaches has helped a lot with this crazy first semester.
At any point, do you like wake up in the morning and have to like think twice, where are my feet this week?
I've definitely had to. There's been mornings where I wake up and I'm like, darn it, I just missed an assignment or stuff like that. But yeah, lots of travel.
Are your organization and your time management skills, have those always been good? Is that something that you've had to get really good at in the last year and a half?
Yeah, I would say so. Ev definitely helps me a lot with it. But yeah, like also the teachers have been really great and like forgiving. So they've made it a lot easier to adjust.
Would you say you and Ev have gotten a lot closer going through this experience together?
Yeah, 100%. Like I would say she's one of my closest friends on the team now. And she's just a great person in general. Like I always laugh because like everyone has friends, but she's like never afraid to call me out. Like in some penalties, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm like, was that really a penalty?" And she'll like call me out. She's like, "Kraemer, I know what you were trying to do. It's a penalty." So it's just stuff like that where we have a relationship where we're able to call each other out, but also lean on each other, and I've just really cherished that.
What's been the most challenging part for you? Is it the schoolwork and balancing that, or is it the hockey going back and forth between Hockey Canada and UMD?
I would say it's the coming back. I have a pretty easy semester, so it's more just trying to make sure everything gets in on time. But I think it's pretty mentally draining having to make the connections with the Canadian team and then make the connections with a team that just has 8 new freshmen and how many transfers. So it's just kind of being able to make connections, I think, have been pretty tough. And like, because I also like, I know Ev's the same, like we really rely on our teammates and we love having good relationships with our teammates. So it's just been a new challenge on having to find different ways on how to create those.
You mentioned the academic side. I think that's a side a lot of people forget about with student athletes. What's your major?
Exercise science.
Exercise science. How's that been juggling that? It sounds like, did you take some fewer credits this semester than you probably normally would have? How have you been able to balance those academic commitments?
Well, it's also harder being international because we do need to have a certain amount of credits. We can only take one online course. So like there's kind of different requirements that kind of make it difficult, but it's it's kind of, yeah, this semester was easier for me, like just a lot of electives. And then next semester is also just a semester of electives. So I think I'm going to have to rely on some summer work. But my coaches, Dr. G, the teachers, they've all been really understanding. And there's some that are more stubborn than others, but I've been pretty fortunate.
We really need to talk to the University of Minnesota system. People forget that Canadians are international athletes. I think here sometimes in this state, I even do sometimes. It's like, international. She's not from Europe. She's from North America. Oh yeah, Canada. You said some of your professors are been pretty helpful. What professors have kind of been? I like shouting out the professors that help you guys out on this podcast. Who are some of those professors that have been helpful? That maybe you have even converted into what come the Olympics, they might even root for Canada.
Yeah. Well,
or not root against. They might not root for Canada, but maybe not against Canada.
I have a elementary bias class, and I've missed a couple of assignments, and she's let me have a bit of an extension last minute. And then my stats professor is very good. Like, there's been a lot of times where I missed the exam, and he's able to like allow me to take it 2 weeks later. So yeah, but all my professors so far have been great and letting me get a lot of extensions.
Did it ever cross your mind? We were talking a little bit before this podcast. This is you and Ev and Chloe Primanero for the Gophers and the players at all the Badgers who are part of the U.S. team. All of you are in a very unique situation that no one's had to really go through here at the college level, which is living this double life. Because usually Hockey Canada and USA Hockey centralize their teams. But did it ever cross your mind? Ev said it was brought up to her. Did it ever cross your mind, should I maybe take a year off from college to just focus on the Olympics? Did that ever cross your mind?
Like, just more of like, oh, what would this look like? I don't think I was ever going to, but I think also the benefits of being in college still and not redshirting is that, it just gives a distraction. Like, when I'm here, I'm working for the Bulldogs. Like, when I'm doing my best with the Bulldogs, I'm doing my best and giving my best shot with the national team. So I think it just helps balance that and gets your mind put off it. So I think that's probably been a big benefit, but then there's also the con of just extra tiredness. But I think just having a wider circle and more people to lean on has also been helpful and a reason why we didn't reach redshirt. I
was going to ask you, in that scenario, if you did take a year off from school and from playing for UMD and just focused on making the Olympic team for Canada, are you the type of person that would drive you crazy all year, or would that be a benefit? Because it seems like a benefit, but then talking to you and Ab, it feels like maybe it's a benefit to be here and not be thinking about it all year. I
think I probably would have gone crazy just because it's more time to think and kind of go crazy. And yeah, like when we're here, like we have the resources, the awesome facilities to help us even amplify our game even more and help with the more tiredness and draining that we'll feel with all the travel.
I mean, it'd be a different scenario if they had asked you to centralize.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, then at least you're able to train and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It does seem like some of your Canadian teammates, they had some time to kill in between because the PWHL just getting going right now. You know, Avid also said no, and for her, part of it is she's an older college player. She's 20. You're still a teenager technically. Mm-hmm. 19, one of two teenagers on Hockey Canada, the Olympic trials right now. What's it been like, you and Chloe, rivals in college, but then teammates with Canada? What's that been like, the two of you, the youngsters, going through this process? Well,
Chloe and I, like we played U18s together, and always kind of knew of each other. So, and I feel like we always kind of knew that we would end up in a situation where like we would be on the younger side. And it's great. Like, it's always fun hearing about the Gophers, and getting to see her perspective of everything. And I'm really grateful to have Ev with me when I travel and everything. So I kind of feel bad for her because she's kind of the lone wolf on that side. But it's been great. Like, it's also like we know the trends that are going on than the older people, and just someone to talk to and just connect to more. It's been really helpful.
How quickly are those rivalries put to bed, especially for those of you that are currently playing? I mean, maybe it's easier for the older players on the team that were once part of these really heated rivalries in college. But for those of you that are going back and forth, how quickly are those put aside once you get into the Canada locker room?
Well, I think with Canada, it's like very like drilled into us, and we all buy into like this is the goal. Like our priorities are on the national team. So I think everything just gets put aside, and we all just try to better each other and better the team. And yeah, I've always had no problem putting it aside. But maybe if it wasn't someone like Chloe, I'd have more trouble. But me and Chloe have always had a good relationship.
The Rivalry Series, you and Ev got to take part in that. You had to miss a series with the Bulldogs to do it, but they did all right with you guys. while you were gone, other people stepped up and stopped pucks and scored goals, and they swept the Huskies. The Rivalry Series, what was that like for you? That was your first time playing with the senior national team, right?
Yeah, that was super fun. It was just amazing to watch them all be in their element. Yeah, it was just it's just such a happy memory looking back on it. Like, obviously very nervous going in, but the people I was around, they're all just great leaders and teammates that they made it a really easy process, and I had so much fun at the series.
What else do you take out of that as a hockey player? Is that a moment where you think, hey, I made it, I got to the senior national team? Is it still just a stepping stone? How does that affect you mentally as a hockey player, getting that moment?
Well, I would say it's definitely a stepping stone, like just looking at like the final goal being on that Olympic roster. But it's kind of like, okay, like that was the big stepping stone. I got my first 2 senior national women's games out of the way. And yeah, just kind of giving you confidence, being like, yeah, I can play here. I do belong here. So I think it's a big stepping stone, but definitely not the final goal. You're
in kind of a unique position. I mean, Matt talked about not a lot of players have been in this where they've gone college and the national team in the same season, but you come to UMD, your sophomore season, a lot was expected of you coming into this year after the freshman year you had, and a lot was expected of you last year too, and you delivered a lot of goals and a lot of points. You're clearly a leader of UMD, and then at Canada, you're kind of chasing that spot, right? And it's to the outside looking in, it's such a different role that you're playing in those two teams. Do you feel that? Is it different for you in the 2 environments that you're in this season?
Yeah, I was actually talking with Ev about this before the Rivalry Series. It's just like comparing my 2 roles with the Bulldogs with national team. Like Bulldogs, I'm top 2 lines power play, where on national team, like bottom lines. But like I feel like that role is fun to play. Like I just get to go out there and be a grinder, create loose pucks, and just set up the team for success. And I think I love playing that type of game. Like I love battling, I love competing. So it was just a lot of fun, and it was fun to compare the 2 roles. But like I would say like they don't differ that much because I'm still battling whether I'm on the first or fourth line. Yeah, it was really fun to be in that role.
I remember we had you early on in your college career on this podcast last season, and one of the things you looked forward to being part of the Bulldogs was you were like, this is great not being the older player, the veteran that everyone turns to lead the team in scoring. I feel like you didn't get that very long here at UMD. Yeah. Like I think by the second half of the season, it was like, all right, Kraemer's one of our leaders, at least from the outside. We're like, okay, she's the top player, leader on the team. And obviously, as Zach said, going into this year, everyone looked at you again as a leader, whether you had a letter on your jersey or not. You enjoying going to Hockey Canada and again being the youngster who has to prove themselves and fight their way up the lineup? Yeah,
I've been having a blast, and just being able to do that, competing with Poulin and Jenner and Spooner, like it's just so fun because like they're good, but when you're up against them, you're like, wow, like you're just on another planet for how good they are. So you just learn so much. Like I learned so much from Clara and Nina last year, and now I get to learn even more from Poulin, Jenner, and Fast. Like it's just so great that I've been able to have both of these learning opportunities like 2 years in a row. Yeah, it's been really fun.
I talked with, I'm going to draw from my marathoning experience here, but I talked with Dakota Lindworm, one of our two-time champions in Duluth in her build-up to making the Olympic team for the marathon team. And she went and finished great in Paris. But I asked her if she was the type of athlete that always thought about being on the team and winning the gold medal, if that was in her dreams, or if she was the type of athlete that just kind of wanted to shut everything out, focus on the process, let things fall where they may. She said, every night I go to sleep and I'm making the final turn in Paris and crossing the finish line and somebody's putting the gold medal around my neck. What type of athlete are you? Are you dreaming of national championships and gold medals, or are you a focus on the process and have to, respect everybody respects it, but you know what I mean? Like focus on the steps to get where you want to be.
I think I'm definitely someone who like dreams of like the final product, but also like doesn't ignore that it's going to be a process. Like right now in Duluth, we're talking a lot about like how do we get out of this like 4th, 5th place slump that we've been in the last couple of years? Because like I know Ev and I, like it's like bothering us. Like we want to leave the jersey in a better place than we found it, and we're just trying to find how do we get to that first place spot. So it's been trying to find that process. Like we know the final goal is to be in that first place seed and in the standings, but it's more like how do we get there? So I would say I'm a mix of both, but like definitely just I go to sleep dreaming of a national championship or a gold medal.
So you're not afraid to think about it.
Yeah.
Some athletes I feel like don't want to think about it because they think if they think too much about it, they're never going to get it. But you don't mind thinking about it.
Yeah. Like I think about it, then I'm like, okay, so how do I do that?
Okay. So the follow-up question to that is, since you've thought about it, I mean, obviously making the team is step one, but then getting to play in the Olympics, hopefully for you, winning a medal, hopefully it's gold for you in Canada. What are all these emotions like as you get closer to decision day for the team and then closer to the actual Olympics next year?
I think it's obviously nerve-wracking getting to, like, there's only 2 more Rivalry Series games and it's still unknown whether we'll be there or not. But I think it's, like, I've been really trying to stay positive. Like, no matter the income, like, I know I'm coming out a better player, a better person. So I think it's just, as it's getting closer to the process, just, like, trying to also reflect on what happened, like, what we did, and, like, how that has made me a better person and player, and how, like, I can continue that. And no matter what, like, I'm still benefiting from it, whether I am on that Olympic roster or I'm back with the Bulldogs for February. No matter what, like, positive is going to happen.
I want to go back to, you mentioned that with Hockey Canada, you enjoy being in that bottom 6 role as a grinder, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, like, obviously everyone wants to be top 1 or 2 lines, but, like, it's fun going out there and just creating havoc, and yeah.
You like that creating havoc part of it, huh?
Yeah.
Is that, I was going to ask, the question that was leading into was, what are you able to do maybe in, first off, Zach and I have encountered players here at UMD in our time who they struggle going from that top 6 to a bottom 6 role. They're never able to make that transition and such. They and even if they do make the transition, they admittedly don't like enjoy it. So I'm putting you in a little bit of rare air that you're willing to play and do and even enjoy wherever you are in the lineup. I'm wondering, are there things you're able to do in that bottom 6 role that maybe you can't do when you're in the top 6 role? You able to create more havoc as a bottom 6 player than maybe as a top 6 player?
Well, I feel like each whatever you are in the lineup, like, your goal is just, like, get the puck, like, outmuscle them, like, do all that. I think just as a bottom 6 role, it's more like how to set up the first 2 lines up for success. So that's more like, instead of trying to go beat them wide, like, can I secure possession by just getting it deep and then winning that race? I think it's more the bottom 6, like, it's just more about how can I maintain possession, and then obviously if there's a way to attack, but more setting up the players like Poulin and Fillier and people like that.
Nice playing on a team with Poulin and Fillier.
Yeah.
Not as much pressure to score when you got players like that out there. You don't feel as bad if you're in the penalty box knowing that you got those 2 that can go out there on the power play. We mentioned what it's like playing with some of your WCHA rivals on Hockey Canada. I'm wondering what it's like encountering some of your WCHA rivals over on Canada and maybe seeing those players in different roles. Seeing a a Lacey Eden, not on a top line, but on, also in a bottom six role, or your pal Abby Murphy and such like that. Oh, what's it like seeing those rivals in different roles?
Well, I think it almost, not necessarily about the roles, but just playing against them. We've played against them for the last year and a half, me personally. So, I know their tendencies. I know what kind of players and what to expect, and I think that helps me at that level and adjusting to the level. So I think it's just a sense of comfort, just knowing I can play with Abby Murphy, Lacey Eden, I do it all the time with Duluth. So I think it's just more of a comforting feeling seeing them across, because we know they're great players, but it's we know how to play against them.
The jump from the U18s to UMD that you made last year, and then the jump now from UMD to senior national team. On the guys' side, we talk about a junior to college to the NHL. But you're talking about, we often talk about the WCHA being such a jump from high school or where you were before that, because of you're collecting such great players all in one place. And now you're taking that to an even better level on the Olympic stage. So what has that jump been like in terms of level of play for you compared to where you came into UMD?
Well, I think Duluth has really helped me with that. A reason I chose Duluth was because I know I needed to kind of learn systems more, and I think Canada really values their systems and their defensive zone and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like just being at Duluth, being coached by Shu and Brick and Liv for the last year has really helped make that jump easier. Because I remember our last senior camp I was at last summer, I hadn't been to the Duluth yet, and I think having that year to be coached and know systems and be familiar with them has really just helped make that jump.
I think we've asked you this before, but we'll ask on the podcast, and we've asked Ev this. You mentioned coming to Duluth and playing for Laura Schuler. How much has it benefited you feel, going through this process, which again is new for everyone? How much has it benefited you to be playing here in Duluth for a former Canadian Olympic coach in Laura Schuler?
Well, I think it's awesome. I think even just our systems at Duluth are very similar to the ones we play in the national team. So I think that aspect on ice helps, but just also having her know the process off the ice and how draining it can be both mentally and physically, and her giving us access to the resources or the time off that we need to either recover and rejuvenate to be at our best when we are at Duluth has helped a lot. Just overall, she's just been great, and she's just always welcoming. We can go to her office anytime and talk about whatever, and she's just super understanding.
So Hockey Canada is still running some of Shu's old systems, and she's brought some of those to Duluth as well, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it. Obviously nothing's perfect, but same ideas and concepts.
What's the calendar like for you now with Hockey Canada moving forward?
So we should be finding out about the rivalry in Edmonton soon, and then I think that's after Bemidji. And then obviously Christmas break, and then we'll be back for Ireland. And then I think around near the end of the Ireland trip, we'll be finding out about the roster. And we'll go from there. But that's pretty much the next month and a bit for Ev and I.
You guys are you guys kind of off that because the PWHL season has started? Are you kind of off that? I think for a while there it was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off with the national team.
Yeah, there's no more camps.
There's no more camps. Okay. Yeah. So you'll be able to play for the Bulldogs against Bemidji, and then it would probably be a quick transition if you're playing in that rivalry series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Those are future Caitlin.
Yeah,
future
one
Caitlin
day at a time.
Future Caitlin has to deal with those problems. Yeah, so the Bulldogs at Bemidji State December 5th and 6th, and then rivalry series games both in Edmonton December 10th and 13th. And you said right now it looks like while the team is in Ireland over New Year's, that's when Hockey Canada is going to announce the Olympic team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be sometime after Christmas.
Are you one of those people you want to know exactly when they're going to announce it so you know when the deadline's coming? Or do you kind of I don't want to think about it. When they tell me, they tell me.
I'm someone who doesn't like to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more with Caitlin. You're listening to the Bulldog Insider podcast, brought to you by the News Tribune's limited podcast series, Edmund Fitzgerald, 50 Years Below.
You know the name. You've heard the song. You know the number. 29 men were lost when the Edmund Fitzgerald was overcome by the gales of November 50 years ago. But do you know the rest of the story? The Duluth News Tribune has been close to this story from the beginning, and now we're looking back as the world marks a half-century since the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. In this limited podcast, we will tell the story of the Fitzgerald from its launch to its loss, and we will also explore its legacy. Edmund Fitzgerald, 50 Years Below, will be released in 5 episodes this fall, starting October 13th and leading up to November 10th, 2025. Watch DuluthNewsTribune.com for articles, images, and videos that expand the story.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider podcast, brought to you by Edmund Fitzgerald, 50 Years Below. You can listen to the entire series on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You could support all the Duluth News Tribune podcasts by visiting DuluthNewsTribune.com. Subscribe and check out all the content we have there, including the new Bulldog Insider podcast bonus segment we just recorded. During the break, it's our question of the week. This week's question for Caitlin was, which veterans on Team Canada have you connected with, and who's been a mentor through this Olympic process? You can check out that video at DuluthNewsTribune.com. So this is, as we've mentioned, this is a really special thing that you've been going through, going to college while still trying to make the Olympic team. And I think you mentioned this a little bit. What are some parts of college life that you feel like you're missing out going through this?
Well, definitely, I touched on it before, just time with my teammates outside of the rink. I feel like last year we were always at like either Clara's and Nina's house or at the PP. But I feel like that's probably what I missed the most is just time with teammates. But other than that, nothing much. Like, I feel like we don't really do much other than just hockey and school anyways. So I would say the biggest is just team bonding.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how little like personal life Division I student athletes actually have. You don't get to live the full college life that maybe a normal college student does. You're out of Oakland now, living in a house or apartment in Duluth.
Yeah.
Who are you all living with this year at UMD?
Yeah, our house is called The Portal, and I'm with Tova, Devin, Zoe, and Parky.
How'd you end up with all the transfers?
Well, that's why it's called The Portal. I don't know. I think Tova and Zoe and Devin are one of my closest friends on the team, and then Parky came. We had an extra room, and it's been really fun. We're the quiet house. We do puzzles and watch movies. We're not rowdy like the other houses, so it's really fun. Who's
your road roomie?
Ray. Yeah.
What's it like rooming with her?
Well, I think we're pretty similar, like quiet. We like to bed rot. So, yeah, I think it's nice because we have very similar schedules on a game day. So it works out well.
Who do you bunk with when you're with Team Canada? What's that living situation like for everyone at the camps?
Well, at the camps, we stay in Airbnbs. So it changes every time. But I was with Ev for the most part the whole time. And then the last camp, instead of being in the same house, we were neighbors. So at least we still were semi-close, but it's kind of all over there. It's always changing.
So Hockey Canada bunked you guys up. They got Airbnbs for everyone instead of putting you up in hotels?
Yeah, and then I think and then with the Rivalry, we're in the hotels. But
Rivalry Series.
Camps were in houses.
The camps are in houses. So Airbnb or hotel, which do you prefer as a traveler on the road?
I feel like I like the Airbnbs because we would like be in them for 2 weeks, but like I don't mind a hotel stay for a week. But I think if it was above a week, I'd prefer Airbnb.
Longer stays, the Airbnb. Yeah, living in a hotel for 2 weeks would have been rough. Who do you do? So Av's the one you're. How many people are in an Airbnb? It
changed. Like, it was crazy. Like, some people would be in, like, these mansions and then some in these little shoe boxes. So, like, there's a lot of variety of, like, it could be a 6-person house or a 4-person house. But, yeah, I would say for the most part, it was usually around 5 people per house.
How much downtime do you have during these Hockey Canada camps? Or as a student athlete, do you have absolutely no downtime because you're still trying to juggle this dual life?
I would say it's pretty similar just to a normal day and, like, here, like just practice in the morning, lift in the morning, and then be done. around noon. And then obviously Ev and I like doing homework the rest of the day. But then sometimes we'd do team activities, like go out for dinner, or we went rock climbing one time. Like there's like tidbits of there, but for the most part, I think we were done around noon.
All right. I'm introducing a new segment on this podcast, Caitlin. It's specifically for you. It's called Kraemer Sister Update.
Okay.
I think as we discussed the last time on this podcast, you're the odd sister of the family.
Yeah.
Right. You had 2 older sisters that played for Maine. Did I see, maybe it was you that shared it on social media? Do you have a younger sister that's also going to play soccer at Maine?
Yeah. She just signed for next year to play soccer there.
Ashley, right?
Yes.
How's it going for you being left out of the family tradition on that?
I don't know. I always get asked like, oh, like if Maine like had like the same kind of facilities as Duluth, like would I still go there? And I don't think so. I think I like doing my own thing and having separate, but I don't think my parents enjoy being at like 2 different places. But I think soccer just was never my thing. So
Well, why didn't Ashley come play soccer over here in Minnesota? Your parents couldn't pull that off? She had to follow the family business?
I think, yeah. And they're like Maine got all new soccer facilities too this past year. So I think she's excited to experience those because my older sisters never got that.
It's cold in Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's cold in Maine.
Yeah, not as cold though for soccer. I wouldn't have chosen Minnesota for soccer. It's a great hockey state, but if I got a chance
You played soccer in Minnesota.
But I didn't have a choice though. Maine did want me. I had to play in Minnesota.
Your older sister, Abby, she had her number retired at Maine.
Yeah.
After less than a year of graduating.
Yeah. Well, I think she's like somewhere close, either the leading scorer or somewhere close to being the leading scorer. And like they won 2 conference championships. And I feel like just my sisters as a whole, like they set up that program and Maine just won their 3rd conference championship in a row. So yeah, I think like I always like Abby has really helped me be the player I am, like just with her compete level and the type of person she is. So I think she deserved it 100%.
Who is the most famous athlete among the Kraemer sisters? We have one who has her number retired at a university and another who's trying to make an Olympic team. Who's the most famous Kraemer sister?
I don't know. I don't. I think Abby's probably in Kitchener. She's probably more well known because I feel like there's not a lot of soccer players who have her type of success. Hockey's kind of old news in Kitchener. I think there's
just
always
hockey Olympic hopefuls all over Kitchener.
Whereas soccer, I feel like it was kind of unheard of to get your number retired after only 1 year.
Gold medal, a couple national championships. Get your
I'll try to catch
build your
up
resume
to her.
up in Kitchener.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do you have to do to
Right.
pass Abby?
Win an Olympic gold medal. And
You have to win an Olympic gold. You can't just be in the Olympics.
on maybe being on the Olympics, but my goal to win a national championship up the conference. We made the tournament last year, so we just have to. We also passed them because they didn't make it past first round. We made it to second round of it. So now it's just get to the 3rd, 4th.
I don't know if we asked this last time. Could you have been a successful Division I soccer player?
Like I was very kick and run. I don't have a lot of foot skill, but I feel like I used to be pretty fast. But I could never be as like technical or have the soccer sense as my sisters do. So maybe like a bench warmer.
Bench warmer?
Yeah.
Which of your sisters could have been a successful Division I hockey player?
Probably my younger sister. She's kind of like, she could have picked both hockey or soccer, but I think soccer was just, the pathway was a little clearer. But yeah, she was fast, strong. Yeah, just chose soccer.
Did you get to play hockey with any of your sisters?
No. I wanted to play with my younger, but it never worked
just
out.
never worked out.
Yeah.
Were you on any soccer teams? Because you played a little soccer. Did you ever play soccer with any of your sisters?
No.
No.
I always, because my dad coached my older sisters, so I was like, oh, you should call me up. But he never budged.
Killing the stereotype that every other angry parent has, that coach's daughter gets preferential treatment. You never got any of that from dad, huh?
No.
Okay. All right, rapid fire to close out the episode here. That ends the new segment on the Bulldog Insider podcast, Kraemer Sister Update. Good that Ashley's going to the college level now. Is Abby playing pro soccer somewhere?
She's about to get back from playing in Norway.
Okay, cool.
So she just finished up a season there. So I think she's going to look to sign with another team, but She played with in Portugal. Like, she's been everywhere, like Portugal, Denmark, Norway. I honestly don't know where she is half the time because the time change is like, it's hard to call and keep up with her, but she's coming home soon to Canada.
How are her Olympic prospects for the Canadian soccer team?
Well, Canada soccer, like, a reason why I chose hockey was like, I feel like it's like easier, like, like kind of the pathway, especially now with the pro level, like, but soccer, like, they pull people from everywhere. So I feel like it's just hard to know the top talent and like just keep up with it. So I feel like good players get lost a lot of times, but I feel like she could 100% make a run for the national team.
Wait, it's a clear path to the Canadian Olympic hockey team than the Canadian soccer team?
Well, I just feel like because soccer, like, there's so much soccer.
So many different paths
like
you could
hockey,
take.
like, it's kind of like you go D1 and then try to play good there and then get called to development and then try to go up there. Where soccer, like, I couldn't even tell you how the process goes.
That tells you how far Canadian soccer's come a long way. Mm-hmm. It's up there now. As an American, that's tough. As an American, that's tough to admit that Canadian women's soccer is surpassing or catching up to U.S. soccer. Okay, rapid fire. We got Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving coming up here as we're recording this. People listen to this after Thanksgiving. Then you got Christmas. Caitlin, what's your favorite holiday?
Christmas. Yes.
I don't want to say what's your least favorite holiday. I'm going to phrase this. What holiday would you be okay missing for hockey?
Halloween. I don't even know if that's a holiday, but it honestly kind of annoys me. I don't like it, the scary stuff. Devin and I have a rule because Devin, like, we like watching the horror movies together, and I say no Halloween movies on October because I'll get too scared. But like, outside of October, we're okay.
So outside of October, you're okay with horror movies.
Yeah.
But in Halloween season,
it gets too real.
Gets too real. Okay, got it. The NFL in America has Thanksgiving. Like that, Thanksgiving's a football hockey day. Does hockey need a holiday that it owns?
Football owns Thanksgiving?
In America, football owns Thanksgiving. Yes.
Well, I feel like Canada, like, I feel like the World Juniors go with Christmas very well. Like, I feel like one of my biggest memories of Christmas is watching World Juniors around the holidays. So I feel like maybe it's getting there with the World Juniors.
And then the Winter Classic on when they play it on New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not on New Year's?
They moved it in New Year's 2025. So this year, I guess technically, they moved it off of something to do with not wanting to fight with college football or something.
I was gonna say college football, the semifinals or something is right around that time too. But
yeah, your number 11. If you had to change numbers, what would you pick?
Probably 17.
17. Yeah. Zach, could you handle that as a commentator?
Yeah. There are goalies and I think leading scorers are allowed to change numbers in my world.
Oh, leading scorers are now allowed to change numbers.
I think that's that. I would always know where Caitlin is on the ice when she's on the ice, no matter if she had no number, changed her number every day. I feel like there's a couple exceptions to that rule, and Caitlin is one of them.
Which place are you more excited to potentially visit, Ireland or Italy? Based solely on the place, not like, Italy's the Olympics, Ireland's not. So based solely on the place, Ireland or Italy? Well,
I think both. Like, I would love to go to Ireland in the summer, so I'm interested to see what it'll look like in the winter. But like, when we were in Switzerland for U18s, we went to Milan for a day. So I feel like I already went there. So I'd say probably based on place solely, Ireland.
Yeah, I have heard from a lot of people when I say, going to Ireland, or this is, going to Ireland. They're like, when are you going? And it's like New Year's. And they're like, that's the worst time of year to go to Ireland. And I'm like, well, welcome to hockey. They don't send us to the nicest places, the nicest time of years. All those teams in the WCHA that have to come to Minnesota in the winter probably get told the same thing. Like, when are you going to Minnesota? December, January, February. That's the worst time of year to come to Minnesota.
It's paid for. You can't be that choosy.
No, I'm not going to be that choosy. 8-hour bus drive or 8-hour flight?
If like I have the seat I want, well, I get, because bus, now that I'm not a freshman, I get my own seat. So I don't know. Maybe, like, if I don't have to carry my hockey bag and stuff to the airport, maybe flight. But if I have to do, like, the whole travel experience, probably bus.
Probably
get
bus.
my own feet.
What seat do you want?
Right now I'm at the very back. I have a pretty good seat. Me and Bergs are beside each other. So I'm happy on road trips. But if I was a freshman, I'd 100% want flight.
Are you an aisle or window on flights?
Window.
Window? Okay. What's your go-to stop when you have a layover in the airport? Because you and Ev have been through plenty of airports so far this year, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, we haven't had fun at Chicago Airport.
No one has fun at Chicago Airport.
I don't think we have a designated spot, and I think we just get coffee or we just like pick up some candy. But I think at the Chicago Airport we go to the pretzel place. What is that called? Annie's?
Auntie Annie's.
Yeah. You go to that place and then
the
Caribou.
I was just in the Chicago airport and I was reminded of this because I hadn't been in a while, but I was there this weekend. The Frontera Tortas is good sandwiches.
I feel like I recognize that name.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
good with names.
Next time you're there, if you have time for a sandwich, because I forgot how good it was. Terribly overpriced, but very good.
Well, everything in an airport is overpriced. Finally took Scott Sandlin's advice and dumped United and try and fly exclusively Delta now. So I don't have to go through the Chicago airport, where you inevitably will get delayed at some point. What's your go-to stop on long road trips?
Quick Trip.
Quick Trip?
I love Quick Trip. That's my thing I love about America is the quick trips.
Ev had the same response, and we said both of you need to somehow get an NIL deal with Quick Trip. That's a pretty good endorsement right there.
Yeah, Quick Trip's been a popular answer because just a couple weeks ago it was, who are we talking to?
I thought it was Ev was the one. When I was surprised when I heard it that was also Ev's go-to stop was Quick Trip.
Boy,
you can't remember now.
No, I can't, and it's embarrassing because we just talked to her. Who's the player from El Paso?
Oh, Sophia. Yep, you're right. Sophia Villanueva was also
I'm like, I can't
coming up from
remember
the
her
south.
damn name.
Sophia was,
Sorry, Sophia. But she said Quick Trip too because they don't have it.
Well,
she was at like truck
So
stops.
is that a must stop for the team now when you guys are traveling through the WCHA?
I think it has to be. We only get it sometimes, but it also like when we play at Heritage when Amsoils is doing something, we always stop on Quick Trip on the way back and get a donut or something like that. So it's a staple.
Yeah, the 27th they have Quick Trip in Duluth. That's right. To take Jack after every Little Wild, whatever weeks. That was in September. He was in Little Wild. We're at Heritage. Had to go to Quick Trip after that. So on long road trips, would you rather be the driver or the passenger princess?
Passenger princess. I'm like the only one on. I just got my driver's license this summer.
Really?
I was very delayed. My parents didn't trust me.
But you had two older sisters that you could have drive you everywhere?
Yeah. So I feel like I've always been a passenger princess, and I'm fine with that title.
Yeah, I'm fine with being a passenger princess. I'll let my wife drive, but only because then she doesn't critique my driving.
Oh, I like to drive.
If I'm not driving, she can't critique my driving.
Yeah.
Last one. This is my favorite question. We've been asking everyone on both teams this year. If your house, the Portal, could get a pet, what would it be, and what Bulldog themed name would you give your pet?
Well, we do have a pet. We have a dog. We have
a dog.
We have Loki, Devin's dog, and he's a big mutt. And he protects the household, because we're not in a great area, so we're moving out next year. But he's amazing. We love Loki, and we don't need another pet. We're satisfied with. But I've been trying to get Devin to let me get a ferret because she said if I had enough money. But then also our landlord next year is very against pets, so we'll have to put the pet.
Well, yeah, Devin's graduating.
Yeah,
so Loki's going with her, right?
Mm-hmm, so we won't have a dog or any animal, but we'll have to make do.
Okay, so if you can get a ferret, what are you naming? What Bulldog themed name are you giving your ferret?
Bulldog theme? We probably maroon Mad Dogs because we have our maroon coat and gold colors at practice, and I live and die with the maroon team. I during mini games, I have to be on maroon. And that's what we call ourselves. So probably representing maroon that way.
I didn't know there was such fierce loyalty to practice jersey colors. All right, we will wrap it up there. Caitlin, thanks for coming on, and hopefully we can bring you and Ev back on maybe later this season as gold medalists.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I know some of your teammates are when I've asked them, who are you rooting for in the Olympics if Caitlin and Ev are on Team Canada? These are the Americans. I asked the Americans this, and their response is, we're rooting for the USA, but we want Caitlin to score a lot of goals, and Ev did not. They want the U.S. to beat Ev 1-0, I believe, is ideally how it is. But
well, it's not good for Caitlin. You can't have all three of those
yeah.
things. Somebody's going to be disappointed.
Yeah. If Canada wins, that's the journalist in me. I don't root for teams. I root for players. I tend to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you root for stories. Yeah.
I root for the stories.
Stories, yeah.
Always rooting for the stories. Except in the NHL, I'm contractually obligated to root for the Detroit Red Wings because of my wife. Had to get that in there before she heard the I don't root for a team. All right. Caitlin, thanks again for being on the podcast. For more episodes of the Bulldog Insider podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Like us, subscribe, and rate us. For more Bulldogs hockey coverage, visit DuluthNewsTribune.com/Bulldog Insider. Subscribe to gain access to all of our coverage all season long. Zach, no women's TV coverage of the Bemidji State series, correct?
It's on the road.
It's on the road.
Then
yes,
no.
at Bemidji State.
I don't know what week we're doing this in. Sorry. No coverage of the women's series this weekend against Bemidji State.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thank you all for listening, and we will catch you next week.